Good evening. Welcome back to the Baseball Diaries. We have some wrap up for the weekend. There have been a lot of games recently. The Mariners are currently playing against the Colorado Rockies. They actually have the bases loaded with one out in the top of the second against Lambert.
Will they score?
That's
Probably
a great
not.
question. Probably not. They'll find a way to ground into a double play here.
Yeah.
Which is very Phillies of them. Like, that's something that we have been renowned for. However, okay. Yeah, so Arias just reached on a hit by pitch, but it hit him like here.
Oh,
So
that sucks.
Not great. Yeah, no, he's still down. They might have to sub him out because that sucks. We talked about Ham 8 Bones on one of these episodes before.
Last episode.
It definitely was last episode. That sucks. But bases are still juiced, so there is hope, albeit little, but there is hope. So news and notes for the weekend: Verlander is back from the IL.
Made a good start.
Yeah. Shohei Ohtani passes Hideki Matsui for most home runs by a Japanese-born player.
Which, hang on, going on, was Matsui the one that was he the porn one?
I think so. Yes,
I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he also tormented the Phillies in the 2009 World Series, if I'm not mistaken. So good for you, Shohei. One of my demons from my early childhood. And you were really late on that. Okay, so yeah, it's Sebi Zavala, so they're definitely not going to score on this.
Yeah, hang on. Because it's hilarious. So the Hideki Matsui porn thing, it was him. And apparently he had such a massive collection of porn that he was just comfortable bringing it up in conversations. And not only conversations with reporters. Apparently he offered 2 runs.
2 runs.
That's the most run support they get all season.
Never mind. They just went station to station.
Great. Yeah. So apparently he offered someone interviewing him a section of his porn. Could you just imagine you're about to interview Matsui and you're like, hey, so how was it? How do you think the game went today? And he's like, well, anyways, have you seen Big Brazilian Asses Part 3? Because if not, I got a copy for you. You need to see it, man. This is incredible. That is just absurd to me. I saw that come out and I was like, what?
We were talking about that in our Twitter group chat.
In hell, yeah. Literal hell.
You and Sean as the Cards fans in there. Ripping it up constantly.
Yeah, it's a rough life right now.
However, it's the perfect group chat for you, so.
Yeah, it is. I love that Sean is also a Cardinals fan like I am, where he's just as angry as I am.
Yeah.
We discussed after the podcast that I'm actually a Red Sox fan, mentality wise.
Orioles.
I'm angry.
You're an Orioles fan. Oh wait, no. Mentality wise, yes.
Mentality wise, I'm a Red Sox fan because I'm very miserable and angry and want things to change. Unlike other Cardinals fans who are just like, no, you need to root on this terrible fucking product that they keep putting on the field. And I'm like, no, I want everyone gone, everyone fired. I want scorched earth theory. Burn it all down.
It's like he's a Red Sox fan mixed with a Phillies fan, but
somewhere in the middle.
The anger isn't quite he's not going to throw batteries at the team, but he's going to think about it.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
I will not be the one slamming hot dogs in the back of people's heads from the stands.
I did send you something about that.
I know.
Instagram,
that's why I said. But I will think about it. It will be in the back of my mind.
It'll cross your mind.
I might want to 90 mile an hour this hot dog to this guy's head. I won't do it, but I'll consider it.
The thought will cross your mind.
Yes.
So yeah, Matsui now second in home runs to Ohtani for a Japanese-born player.
I have a feeling that's gonna get well past.
Yeah, that gap is gonna widen
a lot.
Yeah. Both of our Cy Young picks for the AL.
Yes.
Kirby and Castillo look to be back.
My NL one is not back.
He has a 5.21 ERA. We'll probably discuss that in the future.
Yeah.
However, Kirby, we both discussed this beforehand. Pulling Kirby at 88 pitches, I think, was stupid.
Criminal.
Especially when. Oh, geez. J.P. Crawford nearly hit a grand slam. He's definitely going to score 3. Yep, bases clearing triple for J.P. Crawford. All right,
Nice.
Mariners, they scored 5 runs.
They can do something. They can actually score some runs finally.
Yeah, took them long enough.
Yeah.
Again, where was this run support when Kirby was pitching? But yeah, no, pulling Kirby at 88 pitches, I think was stupid. I think for a guy who's your second ace, he should at least be allowed like close to 120.
Yeah.
And I mean, like the reason we pulled Wheeler was because we were absolutely smoking the White Sox, which we'll get into later.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like you want to keep him healthy. But this is a series you need to win if you're the Mariners.
Yes, because the Mariners are still at the bottom of that pack in the AL West. I mean, they're not dead last, but
they're not dead last. No. Someone else is dead last, which we will get into later.
The Mariners are second in that. What? They pulled away.
Yeah, no, they got a couple series wins. They started to stack momentum, so we'll discuss that in a second.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But both of our Cy Young picks, like we addressed earlier in an earlier episode, we said they were getting BABIP to death. It didn't look like their pitching was actually matching up to their stats, and we've been proven correct. Both of them gave up 0 earned, were striking out the world in their starts, and Castillo was fantastic yesterday. So they look back, maybe a little bit of over-managing from Scott Servais with Kirby. They ended up losing the first game of this doubleheader, but right now Emerson Hancock is going to have a 3-run lead to work with in his next inning of work, at minimum, if Julio cannot get Crawford across. But they both look back, so we'll continue to monitor that throughout the season. Kerry Carpenter has the quote of the weekend in baseball. Yep. If you want to see it, it's on Cut 4 on Twitter and MLB Cut 4
on Instagram.
And J.P. Crawford just scored on a pass ball, so it's 6-2 Mariners. But yeah, so Kerry Carpenter was sitting in the dugout, and some little kid in the Tigers fan base yelled out, "Kerry Carpenter, can you sign my bat? I need to make my sister jealous." And the entire Tigers dugout burst into laughter. Like, again, we've said this multiple times. This is a big Tigers podcast. We're really rooting for them. We think they're going to win the AL Central. But he said, "I'll sign it then." It was the best quote. I'm like that. Yeah. I'm ecstatic for that kid. That's awesome. Like, he got Kerry Carpenter signed bat. He made his sister jealous. Weekend fulfilled for him.
Yes, exactly. And it's a moment that kid is never going to forget.
Never going to forget that.
That is something that he's going to bring up in 30 years when him and his sister get together and he goes, "Remember that time that I got Kerry Carpenter to sign my bat to make you jealous?" And it's going to be just a household thing. Not only that, but on Kerry Carpenter's raking right now.
Yeah.
He's hitting .323 with a .960 OPS and a .173 OPS plus.
Dude, Kerry was a sleeper pick in pretty much all of my leagues for me because I was like, I think this guy's going to have a big season, and it turns out.
Last year he was good. Last year had an 811 OPS. Like, and if he keeps getting better, and he's only 26, like he's gonna turn into one of the premier bats for the Tigers. Honestly,
no, and he's like he has a gorgeous swing. Like his swing is very, very flat through the zone, carries well, and I really like him as a hitter. I think he's destined to be a very good hitter for that Tigers team for a while.
Agree with you.
Next news: Paul Skenes has been electric in AAA. So at this point, we're just waiting for the Pirates to call him up.
He's gonna come up. I mean, so I pulled up the statistics to go along with that. 12 2/3 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 hits allowed, 27 strikeouts.
Jesus.
Which leads to a .711 whip, 3.6 hits per 9, 2.8 walks per 9. Take a guess what the strikeouts per 9 is. Don't do the math. Just throw it out there.
14.7.
19.2.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
Those are like reliever numbers.
Yes, and that's from a starter. And don't get me wrong, the one thing that I hate that the Pirates are doing, and it really irks me, well, not the Pirates, but their minor league team, what's really annoying about it is they're letting him go like 3 1/3 inning, 3 1/3 inning, three. Like
Yeah.
let's see his game log because it's absolutely atrocious that they're not letting him get a little deeper into these games.
Well,
Uh,
because they should, because this is a starter
that's
you project.
you're
Like,
trying to get him ready to be a starter in the MLB. You need to get him starts, and a start is not 3 1/3 innings. It's
no,
just
it's
not.
5 minimum.
And
Like,
it would be one thing if it was like, oh, he's getting he's doing these 3 1/3 starts because he's getting shelled. No, he literally hasn't given up a run. His last every start this year, 3 innings, 3 1/3, 3 1/3.
he's at this point, it's
And
like
then
he's almost
whatever, yeah.
averaging 12 strikeouts.
Oh, I'm sorry, 3 1/3, 3 1/3, 3. Yeah. So you need to lengthen this guy.
Yeah,
you
no,
need to
you
get
need
him.
to extend him.
Yes, the guy needs to be going 6, 7 innings pitched. He needs to be getting to that 80, 100 inning or 100 pitches mark because this is just not serving him any well. What does him carving up minor league players do for him for 3 innings? Nothing. It does
No,
absolutely nothing for him.
You need to see what he can do
Third time through the lineup.
third time
Yes.
through the order. And
Exactly.
because, like, not to say he wouldn't be ready if you called him up right now.
No.
But that being said, he won't be ready to face a major league lineup third time through the order if you don't let him face a minor league one third time through the order.
Exactly. And if he's only throwing these games, probably I would assume in three innings pitched, 40 pitches, 50, 60, maybe. What's it going to look like when he's on 80 pitches? What's it going to look like when he's at 90 pitches?
That's
What's
what
he
you
going
need
to
to
look like?
get him to.
You need to see what that looks like. Does his stuff flatten out? Does he lose velocity on the fastball? Like, what's going on? Like, what does he look like? And obviously, we know what it looks like from his college career, but that's not the same. College, there's been how many players that were absolute all-stars in college and then make it to the major leagues, and Jack Leiter, for example, absolute all-star in college. He hasn't been shit in the minor leagues, and now he made his first start in the major leagues, and I cursed the hell out of him.
Yeah, he did.
He gave up, 7 earned runs?
I think it was 7 earned, yeah.
Yeah, 7 earned, and it was against the...
was it against the Braves?
Nope.
No, he didn't serve.
No, I wouldn't have picked him up because it was a terrible terrible offense. The only reason. Yeah. The only reason I picked him up was because the matchup was so brutal. I was like, oh, he'll be fine. I believe it was the Tigers. Yes, it was the Tigers. Yeah, which the Tigers have a bad offense. Overall, they've been getting a little better, but they still have a 632 OPS as a team. So, that, I was like, oh, so he might give up 2 earned and go 6 innings.
And I was like,
oh,
cool. 7.
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
Which he did get screwed on one. He got screwed on a pop-up.
Tavares, that was a flyout.
Yes, that should have been a flyout.
That's a flyout,
and it doesn't count as a flyout because he freaking didn't even put a glove on it.
That one's infuriating because it's most competent.
Oh, you want to know?
I say most competent. Pretty much every competent center fielder in the majors makes that play. Yeah. And Tavares is not a bad defender.
No, he's not. He's not a bad defender, but he got a terrible read on that.
He did get a terrible read, and that sucks. But and towing along that same line, the other pitchers drafted from college, Rhett Lauder and Hurston Waldrep, have both looked excellent in their starts so far in the minor leagues. Rhett Lauder, I think, has been very good in the minors for the Reds, but I know Hurston Waldrep had a very good start. He went 6 innings, K'd 5, and only walked 1 in his last start for, I believe, Rome. I believe that's the Braves AAA affiliate.
I don't know. I
think it's the Rome Emperors, but which is an awesome minor league team name.
That's
it's a great team name.
Yeah, I do. I definitely like that team name for sure.
And minor league baseball teams tend to have awesome names.
They have the greatest names ever. I mean, my
the
favorite
Rocket
one
City
is
Trash Pandas. That's my favorite one.
The Montgomery Biscuits. Minor league team names. There's also some amazing college summer team names. So the one here in San Antonio, they have a college summer team. They're the Flying Chanclas.
That's electric.
Yes, and their logo on their hat is literally a flip flop that has the little emotes like it's getting thrown. I'm like, that's amazing. I love that name so much.
San Antonio women.
We're not going to address that. We're not Charles Barkley. We're not Charles Barkley.
If you need to know what that quote is, you need to look up Charles Barkley.
Yeah, just look up Charles Barkley San Antonio. You'll find a gem of a compilation video on YouTube.
Awesome.
It's amazing. I've done it. I've watched that compilation video probably 50 times, and every time it's still funny to me.
Yeah.
Go
Next
ahead.
part of news and notes, you got Christian Javier, one of the best starters for the Astros this year, has gone to the IL with neck discomfort, which is definitely uncomfortable for the Astros because their pitching staff all across the board has hit some roadblocks.
Yeah, I mean they're missing an entire pitching staff.
We addressed their bullpen, and the bullpen hasn't really improved.
No,
at all. The pitching staff is starting to falter, probably because they're not getting picked up anywhere.
Yeah, I mean they're missing their entire starting pitching staff, and then they're losing Christian Javier, who has been their brightest starter right now.
Yep.
Not including Framber Valdez, because
And
Valdez is also on the IL.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think he was for elbow tightness, which is alarming. Yeah. And Christian Javier, he's got a 1.54 ERA, 23 innings pitched. Like, so he was your one bright spot where you're like, okay, at least we have him starting today, and now unfortunately he's gone. I mean, it helps that they're getting back Justin Verlander, but Hunter Brown has been bad.
JP France has also been bad.
Yeah, JP France has been bad, so it's like they're missing a lot of people, and we're going to get into more about our concerns with them because it's been scary.
It's been really, like, not even just scary, it's been bad.
Yeah, I mean, this is to the point where I'm not hitting the panic button like they're not going to make the playoffs. I'm not going to hit that panic button yet.
But like
my hand is hovering over the panic button.
You're at the point where you're like, it's getting late early. Like, yeah, you're a lot of games under 500.
And we discussed before that there's 3 teams in this division that could take that division, and that's the Rangers, the Mariners, and the Astros. And the Astros currently sit at the bottom of the pack with a .304 winning percentage. They are 7-16. It's
bad.
And the thing is, the team that I think there's going to be one team that misses out on that division. I think there's going to be one wild card team, and then
originally before the season, I had 3 coming out of the division because I thought it was so strong.
Yeah,
and right now they're doing everything to prove me wrong, and I don't love that because I think it's bad for baseball. But
great, yes.
But
especially with the Astros Rangers becoming the Astros Rangers becoming actually a really good rivalry. That's just bad for baseball when the Astros are sucking. Like, it can't be a rivalry when the Astros are in dead last place.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's a reason that people voted Phillies Braves as the number 1 rivalry in baseball. It's because
they're both good.
They're both good, and we discussed this on a much earlier podcast that the opening series of the season for the Phillies and Braves, the first 2 games were clearly outliers. The last game is more true to how the Phillies and Braves typically play each other. It's a close game. Both teams slug. They're gonna do damage, but these 2 teams play like they hate each other, which is exactly what you need for a rivalry to be
100%.
real.
And not only that they have to play like they hate each other, they both have to be good. That's why the Padres Dodgers quote unquote rivalry is terrible because the Padres sucked for all those years. They didn't I think one of the years they made the playoffs. And it's okay, Dodgers are just dominating you every year.
It's
so
not
who
fun.
cares? Yeah,
it's not fun to watch.
It's not a rivalry.
Which is why the 2022 playoffs were so fun because the Dodgers were in a nail biter every game against the Padres.
Exactly.
And you're not getting that this season.
No. And you didn't get it last season. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say they're not getting it this season. This season, the Padres are on. The Padres are one game back.
The Padres are 1 game back. I think, and I think that also leads in. We'll get into that too later. The Dodgers have been incredibly disappointing.
Yes, 100%.
1 game above 500 for a team that spent $1 billion this offseason. And we'll get into that too because that's your Rookie of the Year and Cy Young pick for the NL. And that's not a shot at you because I think most people expected Yamamoto to be super exciting, and he's just been the opposite.
Yeah, it's been bad. It's weird because he's been really good against bad teams, and then he'll just have one start where he gives up 5 or 6, and you're like, what the heck? Like, what are we getting? Like,
because you don't pay ace money to a guy who's gonna have number 5 numbers.
No, or even 3 numbers. You pay ace money to get an ace level pitcher, and that's not what they're getting at all right now.
They got a great start out of Glasnow today, which I do like, because Glasnow, I've always liked Glasnow, but
his stuff's electric.
Yeah,
and also, hang on, he might actually. I'm taking Kerry Carpenter's quote of the week away from him.
Oh, the radar slut one?
Yes. Yeah. Like, Glasnow, I'm a little radar slut. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
That was hysterical.
Because honestly, if you're a power pitcher, you're like I was not a power, like I was a power pitcher for junior college level. So I threw it in the mid to high 80s, sometimes touch 90, like that. But trust me, I was a little radar slut. Anytime I saw that 9-0, I was
you were feeling yourself a little bit.
Oh my god. I've only seen it. I've seen the 9-0 once, and oh my god, I threw that 9-0 and I walked out of there I
did that.
yeah. I was basically the big dick in the locker room at that point. I was like, yeah, you know what? You're gonna taste all that 90, and people are like, 90, really? Maybe if this was 1970, that would be cool.
Hey, look, dude, in the film Major League, what was it? Charlie Sheen hit 85, so...
Yeah. Wait. No, in Major League, he hit 95.
No. His actual pitch... his actual velocity was around 85. Damn! But his,
That's really, really impressive.
Yeah, for an actor.
Yeah, for an actor to 80, that is crazy impressive. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I've read that quote multiple times, because Charlie Sheen was like, yeah, no, I was hitting 85, and it's like, at the time, that was probably pretty good, but now, obviously, it wouldn't be that impressive.
Wait, when did, no, I mean, that's still impressive. If you tell me you're an actor, and you hit 85, let's say, who's, a young, famous actor right now?
Young, famous actor? Timothée Chalamet?
I don't even know who that is. I'm not keen on my actors.
Dude, I couldn't name young actors.
Yeah,
Tom Holland. Screw it, Tom Holland, the guy from Spider-Man.
There we go. That works. Let's say Tom Holland came up and threw an 85-mile-an-hour pitch. I'd be like, Jesus.
He was like, all right.
Yeah, I would be like, that's insane for now. That's honestly, because Major League came out when 80 something.
It had to come out
1989. Yeah. So average fastball velo back then was 88 miles an hour.
Yeah. So he was getting close.
He was throwing Major League. He was throwing Major League velocity numbers. So that's like if Tom Holland were to come up and throw 93 today. Yeah. You'd be like, what?
You'd be stunned.
Yeah, because that's too much. So I'm pretty sure the average fastball velo in the 80s was 88 miles an hour.
Yeah, it was something like that.
He was 3 miles off that. Average fastball velo now is 95. So it'd be 92, 93 if he threw that. Yeah. Which we'd be like, what is this guy doing? How did he get to throwing 92?
Yeah, it's because you're at that point, you're like, why haven't you seen a diamond?
Yeah. Why? What level did you play at? I want to know what now. I don't know Charlie Sheen. I can't get a hold of Charlie Sheen.
I think it was mostly preparation for the movie, because his character was Wild Thing, obviously.
Yeah.
And he was throwing his velocity thing. Everyone knows. Well, not everyone knows the movie Major League. It's a great movie if you haven't seen it, but. His whole premise was he throws 99, but he has no clue where it's going.
Yeah.
And that's why his walkout song was Wild Thing.
So he played high school baseball.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that does.
So he has some, yeah. And he's a huge baseball fan. So his 2 major interests in high school were acting and baseball. So.
Well, that tracks.
Right. Yeah. Okay. It's still insane for even that.
Yeah, I know. The fact that I read that article and said he was throwing 85, I was like, holy hell, at the time, that's super impressive.
If I threw that's, again, I'm a huge baseball fan. I played high school and a little bit of college. If I were to throw 93 miles an hour, I would lose my goddamn mind.
Yeah. 100%.
I would be like, I'm going to go try out for a team.
Yeah, you may as well. I mean, there was a kid that threw it in, one of the batting cages. And he got a tryout out of it.
Well, yeah, he was throwing 90, but he was throwing 97, 98.
97, 98. Yeah, so, it's a little bit different.
Still, but, yeah. Well, did you see the story? Actually, my dad sent me the story today.
Didn't he get a tryout with the Athletics?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I just saw a story today, actually. Guy for the Red Sox. He quit baseball for a few years
Oh,
and
the Carpenter, right?
Oh, we lost him. He's gone.
Jesus.
We'll get back to that when he gets back. For now, I'll finish up the news and notes. We were just kind of talking about. I hate to say this. I hate to say it because I'm announcing now, as a team or as a podcast, our team overall is the Orioles because we can't stop talking about them. Literally, the number one thing that me and him are sending to each other is just the song "Sweet Escape" on repeat because it's they're electric. The Orioles. If you don't like the Orioles, why? How can you not like the Orioles? They're so fun. I had a quote earlier. I said I wish I could get as interested in my Cardinals as I do the Baltimore Orioles because the Orioles, they look like a high school team having fun every single game. They're out there hitting home runs, stealing bases, doing the dong bong, and then my Cardinals, they look like the law office of St. Louis, where they just show up, they do their work, they go home, and they're boring. But back to Jackson Holiday, the poor guy. He's got one walk, 15 strikeouts in 27 at bats. He's hitting .037, on base percentage of .071, slugging percentage of .037, and a 1.08 OPS. It looks like he's pressing so hard. Like,
I think a lot of the things, like, I know what we were talking about, like, beforehand, but, like, with Jackson, it seems like the kid still clearly has the weight of the world on his shoulders. And it sucks because it's like, you know how talented he is. And the thing is, with this Orioles team, he doesn't have to be the star.
no,
he can just be a piece right now.
I mean that's the thing that luckily for the Orioles is it's not like they don't need him to be Jackson Holiday because they have Gunnar Henderson, they have Adley Rutschman, they have Westberg, they have Colton Krauser. Like they're stacked, they're loaded.
Yeah, it's like you don't like. I don't know what about him. Like, I think the fact that he's been a superstar at every level is probably weighing on him a little
100%.
bit more than it should. Because, like, dude, you're part of a lineup that features some of the most dynamic young talents that this sport has ever seen. Take it a step at a time.
It's literally a team of Bobby Witts. Like, honestly, yeah. It's the whole team. They don't have like an Aaron Judge or a Pete Alonso who's just going to hit bombs and just be that. No, they're all just 1 through 9. A guy who might hit a bomb off you, might hit a single off you, and then they might steal a base on you too. Like,
and the Orioles broadcast was going through that on a game Jackson sat. It was like, I think everyone in the lineup had a hit that night, and it's just like, that's all you need in this Orioles team. Like,
that lineup is terrifying.
Who are you going to pitch to?
Well, that's the thing about that. Like at least with when you have a guy like Pete Alonso or Aaron Judge, that's a great piece. Obviously, you want that guy in your lineup.
100%.
The Orioles are more taking the route of, we're going to take 9 guys that might be a step back from an Aaron Judge, and we're just going to stack them on top of each other because now you don't get a break. You don't have that. Oh, and unfortunately, right now, that guy is kind of Jackson Holiday at this point. It's kind of sad, but he's a step back in the lineup. But that's crazy that I'm saying the step back in the lineup was the number 1 prospect in baseball this year.
And it's like, he still is the number 1 prospect for a reason. Like, they didn't vote him number 1. He wasn't put there because, his name. It's like, no, he was put there because of his own talent.
He was put there because at every level of the game, he has been electric. And even in spring training, had a 954 OPS. He's always been that guy. There's a reason why, when he said, I want to be on the Baltimore Orioles in 2 years when he got drafted, people didn't bat an eye because they were like, he could. He very well could.
This is feasible. And the thing is, I think he wants to be what Gunnar is so badly.
Yeah.
That he's pushing to try and be like Gunnar when he just needs to be himself.
Yeah. I cannot disagree with that statement. That's a very fair assessment because what Gunnar was last year was insane. Obviously,
Gunnar
one
got
rookie of the year.
Down.
Yeah.
Like, he got sent down because he wasn't able to hit, he wasn't able to hit a breaking ball. And and this is a guy who won rookie of the year and hit 28 bombs.
Unanimous rookie of the year.
Shortstop position. That is not somewhere you expect 28 bombs from.
No.
I mean, okay, 28 bombs as a shortstop is amazing. Trey hit 25 last year, And
Yeah.
Trey is one of the best shortstops in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Like,
you're not going to take Gunnar off of shortstop. Like, let that go.
yeah,
Screw it. Like,
yeah,
let
you're a second
because
baseman now, like, which is fine.
Because Westberg is already a great second baseman, but he's also a great third baseman. Like
Yeah.
he shows that he can play the defense there and he can hit nukes. Like the kid is an awesome player, and Westberg isn't even like in terms of names on that lineup, dude. Him and Colton Cowser were hitting in the 7 and 8 hole today.
Yeah,
and they hit back-to-back jacks. Like
yep. That just shows you
not
how
need
deep
to
that
be
lineup
that guy.
is. Yeah,
You do not need to be that guy.
No,
This isn't the broken Orioles anymore. You're part of the functional Orioles.
More than functional, amazing Orioles.
Yes, this podcast loves the Orioles.
I stated. Don't worry. I already stated that we've instated the Orioles as the Baseball Diaries team. Like as a group, that's our team.
They're so much fun to watch.
They're just so fun.
Like you touched on it earlier. Like you touched on it earlier. They just look like a high school team that's having fun all the time. And that's what you want in a baseball team.
100%.
And if you have that one guy that's pressing constantly, he's like, I gotta be the face. It's like, you don't have to be. Just be yourself and everything else will follow.
And I think the good thing about that is I think the culture of the Orioles is going to embrace it, kind of just show him like, dude, you're a guy. Like, we understand you're gonna be a stud. Chill, relax a little bit, because we're all out here. We're having fun. We're winning games. We're everyone else is hitting tanks. You might not be right now, but it's gonna come. It's gonna come. You just need to relax.
You're gonna hit the dong bong eventually, dude.
Exactly. Like
the dong bong in the bullpen now, the hydration station in the dugout. You're gonna get that moment, but you have to let it come to you.
Yes.
If you're swinging at everything, it's never gonna come.
Which shows by, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's swinging at literally everything, and which is weird because he's somebody who
he's renowned for his patience at the plate.
His patience, I believe, in the minor leagues, he was a 1-to-1 guy, which is there's him, there's he's basically 1-to-1, which that means there's him, there's like Juan Soto, and very few others. Like, it's hard to be a 1-to-1 guy, and that's who he normally is. And him striking out 15 times to 1 walk shows me that he's going outside the zone. He's swinging at pitches he doesn't need to.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it sucks to see because you can tell that he's pressing because he wants to deliver. And it's just like, you need someone to kind of like, if I'm in that Orioles locker room, if I'm Adley or if I'm Gunnar, or
I'd say if I'm
Colton,
Gunnar, honestly.
Yeah, if it's me, like, as a manager, I'd hope Gunnar like puts his arm around him and be like, dude, look, I've been here. It like the pressure does suck, but you got to let it come to you.
Yes.
Like the moment will come to you eventually, and you just have to wait for that moment. Like we don't know what that moment's gonna be.
No.
But he needs that thing to unlock him, and he has to let it come to him.
I completely agree. I mean, that's exactly what it needs to be. I think if I'm Gunnar Henderson, I'm putting my arm around him. I'm like, dude, I know who you are. We all know who you are. You know who you are. You just need to let that happen. Don't stop pressing for it. Just slow the game down. We're adults playing a kid's game.
Yeah, we've talked about this at length. Baseball is a game for moments.
Yes.
And you have to let that moment come to you. Like, do you think if Bryce Harper was pressing this bad when he was a kid, that the Bedlam at the Bank moment's coming to him ever? Who's to say? It might not. And you just have to let those moments reach you and show up when they reach you. You can't stretch for the moment.
Exactly. I completely agree with that. And like I said, we've talked about this for far too long. I almost was a little tempted to stay away from this topic, but I felt like at the point that it's at,
it's like 1 for 30. 1 for 30 is not like, look, other rookies have struggled, and this isn't something that
J-Rod struggled when he came up. Gunnar struggled, exactly. I mean, these guys, a lot of top overall prospects come up and struggle right at the beginning. Not everyone comes up like Mike Trout and just lights the world on fire. It takes time.
It does,
and also even Mike Trout, who is gonna go down as one of the greatest position players of all time, when he came up, he had issues with the swing. He had issues with the high fastball. And don't get me wrong, he corrected those issues. But when he first came up, he struggled with the high fastball. So he needed to take the time to work on that, figure it out. And now I don't know if he has a hole anywhere in his swing, period.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Yeah, I don't think.
It's Mike Trout.
Yeah. If you were to tell me, on, oh shit, did I just freeze? Oh, I did freeze for a second.
Oh.
But you know how on MLB The Show it has the red zones, red, blue. I doubt there's a section on there that would be blue for him.
If I had that pulled up, I would tell you. I think you're correct.
Yeah,
I think he's red all up and down.
Which, I mean, maybe it goes to a slighter shade of red at top, up and in fastball, but
But
really?
All right, who doesn't that get every once in a while?
That's like being oh yeah, well he struggles with pitches above 103 miles an hour. Yeah, it's 103.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's our last news and notes point.
Yeah, that's our last news and notes.
Oh, you were gonna talk, or you were on it, and I want to bring it back. The story about the Red Sox guy.
Oh yeah, Cam Boozer, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right.
Carpenter, retired from baseball, went off, started doing carpentry, and and then came up and he had his major league debut.
Well, he was just messing around and figured out that he could throw 93 miles an hour. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I guess I can try this baseball thing out. And he started practicing, getting ready to actually pitch, and he just made his MLB debut. I love that.
Awesome story.
Love that story.
Love that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't care how. I think he did well too. I
don't think he gave up a run. So that
I don't care what he did. Honestly, that's just a great story.
Great story. And again, that goes back to baseball is a sport for moments.
Yes.
That's a moment.
Have you seen the movie? There's a new one on Netflix, and I love. Thank you for making a good baseball movie, Netflix. Please come out with more, because there hasn't been a world-renowned one in I don't even know how long.
Probably since Moneyball.
Yeah, probably. I would say that, because I mean, Clint Eastwood did a dumb one that was terrible.
What was it?
Trouble with the Curve.
Yeah,
that movie sucked.
The movie was terrible.
I'm pulling up this movie because I'm going to recommend it to you and other people.
People post that clips from that movie all the time, and I'm just like, this is it's not a good movie. If you've watched it, you know it's not good. But
The Hill.
Oh, okay.
It's based on a true story. It's about a kid that has a disability when he's a kid, can't really walk or anything, but he loves the game of baseball, and just keeps pursuing, keeps kind of doing it. Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah. Anyways, I guess we can go into our AL and NL teams now.
Yeah. Do you want to open with that for your NL team, or do you want me to open?
I guess I can depress everybody.
I could open, and then you could translate into your. So right. My NL and AL teams are doing a little bit better than Tyler's right now.
Yeah, I'm just going to depress everybody real quick.
Okay, I'll pick everyone up.
Yeah. The Brewers swept the Cardinals this weekend in a complete shame of an offensive performance from a team that is strongly regarded as having a good offense on paper.
Yeah.
Other than right now, Wilson Contreras, Lars Nootbaar, Mason Wynn, and Ivan Herrera, that offense is abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. You know what? I have it pulled up. I'm going to do it.
Oh, God.
The gun might be getting unloaded.
Oh, God.
Yeah. They are 25th in OPS right now. 25th. With a 641 OPS.
You probably slid behind the Phillies now.
They're bad. Yes, they're worse than the Phillies. By a lot, actually. Let's see. Let's go weighted runs created plus to show even that. They're 26.
I think we talked about this last time.
With 83 weighted runs created plus. Let's just go on. Let's go with the boomers. Let's get those boomers involved in this. Batting average, 25th with a 2.20 batting average. The offense has been abysmal all season. All season has been abysmal. Minus the 3 names I named earlier, absolutely abysmal, which the fact is that I'm talking about the pitching of the Cardinals as being a highlight when we have Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn in the rotation. What the fuck?
And that's the thing. Sonny Gray got a loss today, and he was excellent on the mound.
12 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and he gets a loss. in 6 1/3 innings pitched.
He should be allowed to do
He
some.
almost struck out 2 guys per inning, literally just under.
He should be allowed to do some abhorrent things to that defense.
Yes.
Well, no, not even the defense.
Offense.
The offense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, he should be able to go up to Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, and just open face slap them in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Because in those two specifically,
you would have done that.
Yes, I would have. Like, I always hate when a pitcher gets hurt for punching a wall. But if Sonny Gray would have went into the dugout, punched the wall, and got hurt, I'm not saying it's smart. It's not the right move. But I do understand, because
I would have understood him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's awful. Like, it's absolutely abysmal. They just lost a series sweep to a rival, the Brewers. Well, kind of a rival, a division rival,
That's a
the
division.
Brewers. Yeah, who lead the division currently. And the card. And so we said that it was going to be between 5 games. We thought would be from first to last. Well, Cardinals have already surpassed that. They're now back 6 games from first place. They have a .409 winning percentage. They're 9-13. Guys, pull it the fuck together. Because it wasn't even like, okay, today's game was a 2-0 ball game, which means, again, offense terrible.
Yeah.
Yesterday, 12-5, the Cardinals lost. Game before that was another 2-1 ball game, again, in extras, too. The Cardinals scored their 1 run in the 9th inning to tie it up. They are at a negative 19 run differential. They're just bad. Like, it's just bad. This is the reason why I said last podcast I was jokingly saying I'm an Orioles fan now, and I still am jokingly saying that. But this is why. And the I saw some dumb fucks on Twitter being like, "Oh, well, the front office can't beat them, or takes a lot of heat for this. Like, they could take a lot of heat for creating a bad team. They addressed the pitching this year, and like, yeah, the pitching has been better than expected.
Yeah.
And I understand they can't be blamed for the offense of just no output whatsoever. But come on, like, you can't build a 500 ball club and expect them to not play like a 500 ball club.
No, 100%.
And the hitting is probably going to come back to decently. Like, but overall, let's even go just last year. Last year in OPS, they were to show you that it's not a fluke. Last year, they were literally smack dab in the middle, 15th in baseball with a 742 OPS. That's just like, okay, so if they come back to average, which is 500, that's exactly 500. And then last year, the pitching, which I do not think considerably got better by any means, if honestly, in my opinion, may have gotten worse.
Well, I mean, the Sonny Gray edition is the Sonny Gray edition is the one thing.
I'm being dramatic.
You're just angry.
I am angry. But like last year, they were 24th in ERA, and the bullpen got significantly better. But like, okay, so what's that put? I'd put their pitching staff literally a dead average again. Like, even with the addition of Sonny Gray, and now a pretty decent bullpen, dead average. So what does that equal to? If you're looking at a record, 500. Exactly. If you're dead average at both pitching and offense, chances are you're going to be league average. And yes, defensively, they have a lot of good defensive players. But does that pull them from dead average to winning the division? Probably not.
Yeah, definitely not with Milwaukee's hot start.
Yeah. So I'm done ranting. I've cursed. I've
the said, new rant-isode.
Yeah, I can't with this team anymore. They've crushed my soul the last 2 years. They've crushed my soul since 2013, to be honest. Actually, 2011. Basically, whenever the new owners we got a new president of baseball operations, they switched around everything. It's been bad because what they've done is they're like, okay, we're gonna get a team that's just good enough to make the playoffs, and hope to God they go on some 2013 run where Matt Carpenter hits the hell out of the ball for some reason. Colton Wong goes off and then is non-existent. We also extended him right after that when literally he had a month and a half of good baseball. And they were like, "Oh yeah, this guy deserves an extension." Yeah, they literally are just preying on like the 2019 Nationals run, where it's like they're a decent baseball team, but they shouldn't win the World Series, but they're just going to go on this crazy run. Or the 2022 Phillies. Well, actually, the 2022 Phillies were good. They were a good ball club, but to be fair, they played out overall. Their bullpen was a
Oh, they
dumpster fire until
overperformed.
yeah. They that's what they're hoping on, which I think is just bad for the game and bad for fans in general.
What was the one thing that the Phillies have done over the past few years?
Added
Bullpen,
yes,
and their pitching staff. I mean, the Phillies pitching staff so far, like,
and that's a team that went to the World Series.
This is a good transition.
That's what you need to do.
This is a good transition into the Phillies, because the Phillies on this homestand, 10-game homestand, went 8-2, and they swept out the Rockies and the White Sox. Those are two teams that you have to sweep if you want to be a good ball club, and they did it. Albeit the first game against the Rockies was uncomfortable. It went to extras. However, Christian Pache hit a walk-off single to give them a 2-1 win. They came back. They won 5-0. And then the game after that, they won 7-6. It got nervy near the end, but in the end, it didn't really matter. It was 7-1 at one point, and then it became 7-6. And, they still won. So I wasn't like, was I stressed out watching that listening? Yes. Yes, I was. However, they got the job done, and that was the important bit. But like what Tyler was saying, the Phillies haven't stopped like tinkering with the bullpen. The starting staff has been on a tear. Like
Ranger Suarez
threw a complete game shutout.
Yep.
Second of his career. One of the few that the Phillies have had recently, but Ranger has been incredible. And I could not be happier for a guy who was a bullpen arm for a while and transitioned to being a starter, and he has just been incredible on the mound for the Phillies. And guy fields his position like no other pitcher I've seen in baseball. Aside from his teammate Zach Wheeler, who won the Gold Glove last year, I think Rangers should be in that conversation this year. He has been incredible on the ball.
Completely agree. He should be in the conversation this year. And to continue to talk about the Phillies, the team that won the World Series 2 years ago, was in the World Series 2 years ago, added a bunch of bullpen arms and tinkered around with it, and made the team. And then also after that, signed Trey Turner. They're a team that. They've been doing the right things at the right time. Their team ERA right now is 7th in the baseball with a 3.51 ERA. Which now let's go. I talked a lot about how their relief pitching was the big question mark in the 2022 season. Here we are this year. Their bullpen,
but
I'm not shocked. Their bullpen right now.
It's not been great. The thing is,
I'm gonna retract my answers there. They at least tried to fix the bullpen. It didn't go well.
I think one of the problems was Pinto came in the. He's one of the few relievers that we've had. Pinto was also a good story, kind of like that Cam Boozer one.
Yeah.
But clearly, he's just he was good in like the Caribbean series, which. That's cool, and he had a 5-inning save earlier this year, but like against the White Sox yesterday, gave up 5 earned in the 9th.
There we go. That's gonna okay. There we go. That's why. So I was literally just about to ask you, did they just have like a meltdown recently? Because I remember last episode, the Rays were the worst bullpen in baseball. Which I was still beyond shocked. They pulled up a lot, actually. They went up to 26 in baseball. Your Phillies have the worst bullpen in baseball right now by ERA.
That doesn't shock me because like the meltdowns that have occurred have been bad.
Have been dramatic.
Like the one against the Atlanta in the early outset of the season was really bad. But he gave up 5 earned to the White Sox last night. And that's when I texted you. I was like, yeah, I love having to call in our closer in a game where we shouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And he only threw 1 pitch, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But I was also like, really, we have to warm up Alvarado for this lineup? Come on.
So their starting pitching, like I said, their relief pitching is dead last in ERA. Their starting pitching is literally the second best starting rotation in baseball right now with a 2.25 ERA.
And they were on a...
Who do they have? So I'm thinking it's obviously Wheeler, Nola, Ranger, Turnbull. Who's their 5?
Turnbull's the 5.
Who's their 4?
Sanchez.
Oh,
Sanchez has a sub-3 ERA. I think
Yep.
it's 2.53.
Yep.
He
Forgot.
has been excellent. He has the best changeup in baseball by Stuff Plus. Like, I'm not just making that up.
Yeah.
By Stuff Plus, best changeup in baseball.
Well, Devin Williams is still on the shelf, so.
Well, yeah, Devin Williams is still on the shelf, but by Stuff Plus, the best changeup in baseball is currently
Sanchez.
What's his name? Yeah, Christopher Sanchez. That's his name.
Yeah.
He's been excellent so far this season, and I'm so glad because it's like the Phillies have been looking for a like good 4, like, and I mean a good 4.
What,
Sanchez
Taijuan
has
Walker
been
wasn't
like
doing it for you?
Taijuan Walker gave up 4 earned in Lehigh Valley today, and he has to go to the bullpen. Like there's absolutely no reason to include Taijuan Walker in this team's rotation right now. But yeah, like against the White Sox ace, Garrett Crochet, who's been excellent this year.
Yes,
the
he has.
Phillies elevated his ERA. Guess what his ERA was at the end of the game against the Phillies?
At the end, what was it before? It was sub 3, wasn't it? It was like 2.25 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like I think it was like closer to 3, but I don't think it was 2.25. I think it was like 2.5 something.
Okay,
but he was pitching very well. His ERA at the end of the first game against R5 Spencer Turnbull was a 5.61.
That's getting shelled.
The Alec Boehm hit 2 3-run homers off him,
and yeah. And that goes. We were on. I think it was last episode. It was either last episode or the episode before. You were getting very annoyed by the Phillies' offense, and we knew it was going to turn around. We did. Obviously.
And this was the series to do it.
Take a guess how much it turned around. They were like second to last. I want to say
they were second to last. Yeah. They were like bottom 3 in almost every category in baseball. Well, in the National League, that is.
Well, in baseball now they jumped all the way to 17th in OPS.
It's huge. You know how many homers they have now? Tied for second in the majors. Technically third, but it's tied for second with 26 home runs.
Jesus.
Now. Yeah.
You know how many the fucking Cardinals have?
Haven't you guys not hit one since April 12th?
2 in the month of April.
That's so sad. I'm so sorry.
It's April 21st.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the Philly, so 2 Phillies pitchers in this White Sox series, like we said, 8-2 homestand, and then a 6-0 sweep against the Rockies and the White Sox. Again, 2 teams you have to sweep. And 2 pitchers in the Phillies starting rotation so far against the White Sox carried no hitters into the 8th inning. Spencer Turnbull went 7 1/3 with a no hitter against
part of my no longer cursed.
Yes, yeah, no, you picked him up and he actually shoved. He was great.
Yes, he was.
Then Wheeler also went 7 1/3 against the White Sox, and the Phillies finally scored runs for him. We scored 9 runs for Zach Wheeler.
Love that for him.
Yeah, I was so happy for him. The one thing that did kind of like break my heart a little is because the ball that was hit, Harper was shaded like slightly pole side for Corey Lee, and he just couldn't get to the ball. And Wheeler was like, because I texted you about this, I said he's at 101 pitches going into the 8th. I want him healthy, but also he's pitching like he could get a no-hitter here.
Yep.
And I was like, just pitch to contact, screw it. Like, you could do it against this lineup. He pitched to contact, he got a quick out, line out to Trey Turner, and then he got the contact he needed against Corey Lee, but because Harper was shaded slightly in off the bag, it snuck by him, and Harper like sat up at the base and was like you could tell it hurt him because he was like he knew he wanted it. Like you could see it.
Of course.
And I was just like, damn, that sucks. And then we brought in Pinto because it was a 9-0 game. You're like, screw it. This is a guy that we don't like. We're not worried about it. Screw it. It's 9-0. What the hell could happen? 5 earned runs in the 9th, and he loaded the bases. And I was like, this is what I'm getting. You guys had to make it stressful against the White Sox, like. And the White Sox are dead last in baseball in like everything too.
Yeah, they're not good. They're dead last in OPS. Literally, the next closest one is almost 50 points higher than them, and that's the Miami Marlins.
I'm thinking. Remember, we were talking about this like way early in the podcast. We were talking about who's going to be the worst team in baseball.
Yeah.
I'm honestly thinking about taking the White Sox to have the worst record. Like, there's almost nothing exciting about that lineup. They have one player hitting above 200. One.
Yeah.
It's
The
Gavin
team
Sheets.
the team batting average is 190.
It's terrible.
So the
Like,
worst
that
in
White Sox
baseball
team
again.
is awful.
The next highest one, actually, shockingly, is the Minnesota Twins at a 194 batting average.
Based on the conversations we've had, that's not that shocking.
It's not. For baseball educated people, that's not.
For
that's not as
casuals,
shocking.
it's shocking.
Yeah, for casuals, it's shocking because the Twins went to the playoffs last year and won a series finally.
But they had an electric atmosphere. I can't hate it.
Yeah,
Like the Target Field was awesome during that playoff series.
What I can't hate is their front office for seeing a team that goes to the playoffs and then letting your ace leave.
Yes, that I can hate because, like we've discussed this at length. What the hell has Pablo Lopez done to deserve the status he's gotten?
Thank you.
Both of us have discussed this a ton. Like,
Pablo Lopez is a good starting pitcher. Yes. The fact is that he's almost always up there for Cy Young conversation is absurd. It's absolutely absurd.
I don't get it.
Last year he had a good year. 194 innings pitched, 3.66 ERA. That's not a Cy Young pitcher, though. That is a good ace on a lot of teams, but is not a Cy Young caliber pitcher. He was seventh in Cy Young last year with that. And other than that, year before that, 180 pitched, 3.75 ERA. Year before that, 102 innings pitched, 3.07 ERA. But again, with that 3.07 ERA, his FIP was a 3.29, so probably was gonna escalate a little bit. Like, this year he's got a 3.97 ERA with 22 innings pitched. His FIP shows that it's going to go down to about a 3.45. Okay, again, good. If the Cy Young has a 3.45 ERA, he better have struck out 300 fucking batters.
It's like Spencer Strider last year.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Like, when you're thinking Cy Young candidates, you're thinking sub 3, you're thinking 200 plus strikeouts minimum. And you don't even have to factor in a ton of wins at this point.
No.
Because you could get screwed. And that happens to a lot of pitchers.
If you look back in the record books, there's some atrocious seasons that people won a Cy Young, and it's because they had 30 or 22 wins, and the next guy had 8 wins with a fucking sub 2 ERA.
Yeah. And the voting is completely screwed in that, and I'm sure we'll discuss that at some point.
It's gotten better. It's gotten a lot better.
It has gotten better, but different things. But yeah, the Phillies swept 2 teams that they're supposed to sweep. They're moving on now to play the Reds, who have kind of cooled off a little bit in Cincinnati. They're playing the Reds in Cincinnati, so we'll see how that goes. I think it'll be a decent series. I think we should be able to take 2 out of 3 from the Reds in that, and just coast on through the road trip. I'm hoping. I'm not
stay away from Ellie De La Cruz.
The thing is, if he's facing Chris Sanchez, I believe he is facing Chris Sanchez. He should be facing Suarez, Sanchez, and then Turnbull.
Okay, so lefty. Tomorrow Suarez.
Yeah. And the thing is, he's
two lefties. And then Turnbull.
He struggled against left-handed pitching because I remember the first game, I think, the first game he played against Sanchez, I think he struck out 4 times. So, I'm not,
Yeah, so it is a starch difference for this year, 2024 platoon splits. Versus righties, he's hitting 326 with a 791 slug, a 1.199 OPS. Versus lefties, he's hitting 231 with a 385 slug for a 760 OPS.
And the thing is,
big difference.
I think that he looks like one of those guys that's going to end up being like a Cedric Mullins almost, where he ends up just hitting from one side instead.
Yeah, I could.
Because Mullins was originally a switch hitter and now only hits lefty because his numbers were so much better lefty. And it looks to me like Ellie is much better from the left side and against right-handed pitching.
Yeah, all the numbers back that up.
I don't think you sit him against left-handed pitching because he has to hit it eventually. But I do see the reason to switch him to just hitting lefty.
Although, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Wait. Nah, never mind. I don't understand that. I'll leave that for another time.
We can leave it for another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Phillies swept who they were supposed to sweep. They go into the road stint, and they have a lot of momentum going. So I think, and this is a team that is now 14-8, which is like a very strong record. It's the best record they've had since 2019, and I think they're poised to make it better. However, like the Braves are so damn good, so I'm not really thinking about the division right now. I'm just thinking, how strong of a record can we get to get that first wild card locked up and just worry about it later? If we end up in a division race, I'll be thrilled because you and I will probably be at a game that might decide the division race if it happens.
Hopefully. That would, if they're 2 games back or a game and a half back and going to that series, I cannot wait for that.
Oh, it'll be
we are buying tickets right behind the Atlanta bullpen just to deal with the debauchery of that
it'll be
atmosphere. And we've lost Brendan again for the 45th time. But anyways, that will be our plan if they end up doing that. I'll go ahead and move on to my AL team, the Astros. The Astros just lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals. So, not great. Not great at all. And they just lost Christian Javier. They got back Justin Verlander, which is big, but losing Christian Javier for a little bit, that's not good. Framber Valdez is scratched for a little bit. And that was with elbow tightness, which is very concerning. And the game today, the Nationals beat them 6-0. And they just got swept by the Braves last week.
I keep forgetting to turn off my damn phone Wi-Fi.
I'm sorry, not
one of the
week,
problems
earlier this week. Yeah, the Astros are.
Oh, you're talking about the Astros.
I moved on because we've went at length.
We've discussed our NL teams at length. The Astros are in trouble.
They're in trouble, and specifically their pitching staff, because their hitters are doing just what they do. They're fourth in baseball in OPS. They got a 271 batting average as a team. Like, it's 759 OPS as a team. That fucks. That lineup, we all knew that lineup always fucks. Like that, they have never not. But what they were great with last year, their starting rotation was one of the best in baseball.
And everyone talks about this. Come playoff time, what is the most important thing? It's your pitching staff.
Pitching is key. I mean, the Yankees showed it for basically a decade, where they just built a team of nothing but home run or strikeout and terrible pitching, minus their bullpen. Their bullpen's always been pretty solid, but their starting pitching was trash, and they got knocked out of the playoffs pretty much every year in the first round. Their overall ERA as a team, the Astros, is a 5.03 for second worst in baseball right now.
Holy hell.
Yeah. Not good. Not good at all.
Well,
for starting pitching, I know it's also not good, but it's
the bullpen's worse.
They're 25th in baseball with a 4.83 with their starting rotation. And what's crazy is I talked about their bullpen probably being the best bullpen in baseball to start the season, and they have done nothing.
Both of us did.
Yeah, I mean, and we're not outliers. Like, that's what everyone thought. Because they already had.
You thought going Presley to Hader was going to be like a 7-inning game.
Exactly. And last year, their bullpen was one of the best bullpens in baseball. They might have been the best. I'm going to look that up in a second. Their bullpen right now is a 5.29 ERA, which speaks for itself. It's just bad. Last year, their bullpen was 6th in baseball with a 3.56 ERA. So clearly, just like nothing has went well for them pitching wise. And even last year, their starters 12th in baseball with a 4.17. So just nothing has gone well for them in the pitching staff. Their pitching staff has just been bad. Hader was broken. Presley's broken. Brian Abreu's broken. They're just bad.
Those are your top 3 high leverage relievers too.
Yep. And
that would be like the Phillies losing Alvarado, Seranthony, and Kerkering immediately.
Yeah, I mean,
and Hoffman too.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's the one thing I love about the Phillies bullpen. like we didn't really touch on it, but it's like you have 4 guys that can pitch high leverage spots, and all of their fastballs are like the low end is like 97.
Yeah.
I'm about to do the same thing, actually.
Yep, got to transition. So yeah, the Astros are scuffling. Am I hitting the panic button on the Astros yet? No, I'm not going to.
No, but you're hovering over it.
I'm definitely hovering over it because it is April. It is April, and could they get back Christian Javier, Justin Verlander does what he can do, and get back Framber Valdez, and it turns out his elbow inflammation was just whatever. Yeah, they could get them all back, and they could go
just
on
precautionary. That could be fine.
And they could get them all back, and they could go on a run where they win 15 straight games, and we could be eating our words at any moment because that lineup is fucking like that lineup is endless. I mean, Altuve has been on basically another planet. Alvarez is just being Yordong. Kyle Tucker is being like the lineup. You pencil it in.
The
for
lineup
being one of the
is
best
what
lineups.
scares you.
That lineup is insane.
But if you know you can score 7 runs on them, you're not going to be that terrified.
No, exactly. And then but the thing was that last year it wasn't just the lineup; it was the pitching staff. Their pitching staff was really good last year. And when your pitching staff is not doing literally anything, your lineup can only do so much. Like your lineup can only score so many runs, and
that's the problem. It's like the Braves lost Strider, and like they're compensating by scoring a gazillion runs a game.
Yeah,
fine.
And
but their will that catch up to them at some point? Maybe, but maybe it will.
There's a difference between their offense and the Astros. The Astros offense is a top 5 offense in baseball. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Braves offense is the number 1 offense in baseball, and there's not a fucking question in my mind who the best offense in baseball is with them. Like you just look up their lineup up and down, and it's insane. Acuna Jr., last year's MVP winner. Matt Olson hit 54 fucking jacks last year. Ozuna from the Braves.
Both Acuna and Olsen aren't like in their stride right now.
No, they're not 100%. And
you know who is in their stride? Ozuna from the Braves.
Ozuna from the Braves is drunk. Still, is literally
drunk.
Dude, he's 1.1ing it right now. Like absurd. And
he's driving tonight, dude.
He shouldn't be. He should not be driving ever.
He should. Someone needs to revoke his license.
I'm shocked it hasn't been, honestly.
That's a good question. Has it been?
It should be. I don't know, but please revoke his driver's license to keep the Braves sane. Their offense, even with them not being who they are, have an 845 OPS as a team. Like, what? Like, what? As a team, an 845 OPS. And that's with Acuna Jr. bringing it down with an 809 OPS, by the way. Michael Harris II, 801 OPS. Austin Riley's not even doing his thing. He's only got a 770 OPS. Matt Olson flirting with 800. But then you got Ozuna from the Braves, 1.1ing it. Orlando Arcia, 842. Jared Clark.
Travis d'Arnaud apparently is the best player in baseball right now.
In fact, that should have been news and notes, by the way. 3-homer game the other day.
3-homer game, and he hit the go-ahead homer last night. Yeah.
I mean,
against a Rangers staff that has been shoving.
I mean, their backup hitters are smoking the ball. Like, it's absurd. But anyways, back to the Astros. I'm not hitting the panic button because
but you're hovering.
They could come back, but it's definitely hovering because we said before that there's going to be 2 teams that come out of that division. For almost positive.
Minimum
2 teams. I don't see it being. I really don't see it being 3 teams. Honestly, I think it's going to be 2, and because I think that another team from the AL East is going to get in. Like whether that be the Orioles, the Yankees, or the Rays, one of those, maybe even the Jays.
It was kind of a toss-up there. Like you either pick 3 teams from the AL West or you pick 3 teams from the AL East, and I believe the AL West was going to be stronger this year. And right now, they've done everything to prove us wrong.
100%.
Because the Astros starting at 7-16 is not something I even thought would be possible.
No, not even close. And then, I mean, the Rangers being the best team in that division with a 500 record is crazy.
It is crazy. Also, J-Rod just got an RBI.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, so if anything, it looks like the team that or the AL East is going to be the team to get 2 out of the division, because the Central's getting 1 team. They're getting
The
whoever.
Central's
Yeah,
getting 1
they're
team.
getting
That's
1
it.
team. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Kansas City Royals are doing what they can to prove us wrong, but I don't. Would it be awesome? Would it be awesome to see 2 teams in each division? Yes.
Cal Raleigh homer.
Whoa,
All right, baby.
there we go.
9-2 Mariners.
Finally getting it going. They're probably going to jump their team OPS by like 40, actually probably like 100 points just today.
Well, make sure to look at the OPS plus. We got to go park adjusted. This is Coors.
That is true. That is true. It is Coors. That pop fly is a fucking bomb there.
Yeah, he just hit a tank that just barely snuck over the center field wall.
Anywhere else that's not a home run. Anyways,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not panicking on the Astros, but I am hovering above because
you're thinking about it.
If only 1 team comes out of that division, chances are the 3 teams that are there, it's going to be like last year, where 1 team is going to miss by a game or a half a game.
Yeah,
and that's
like we already previewed.
Baseball.
It's going to be an exciting division, but if the exciting part of it is the fact that only one of you is getting in, that's not what I think anyone would have predicted.
If that happens, I would be beyond shocked.
Be shocked too. I don't think it happens, but none of these teams are performing the way they should be, and that's a little bit disconcerting for this early. It's concerning this early because, again, we've already said this. The Astros starting this poorly, beyond shocking. The Mariners not having an offense isn't super shocking.
Yeah,
the Rangers being 500 is very shocking.
And to be fair, now for the Rangers, they just swept the Braves though. Today they just closed the sweep of the Braves.
They swept them?
They swept them.
I thought they lost 2 of the 3.
I thought I saw the other way around.
I'm pretty sure they lost 2 of the 3.
Maybe I wrote it down wrong because I'm an idiot, but
yeah, Atlanta won on Saturday. I think this is the only one they won.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly how it went. Because I had it in my notes. The Braves have lost, and I should have said have won.
I was a Rangers fan this weekend. I wanted them to sweep the Braves.
Of course you did. You just want the downfall of the world.
No, I want the downfall of the Atlanta Braves, and I want the downfall of the New York Mets. Those two are.
So if the Marlins were doing well right now, you wouldn't want the downfall of them.
Well, yes, but also because they fired Kim Inge. I hate every team in my division. Yes. I just don't have enough beef with the Marlins to prey on their downfall.
If they were good, he would. If they were good, he would. Which,
there we go.
To be fair, I do that for every team in my division, minus the Pirates. If the Pirates won the fucking division, I'm wearing raising the Jolly Roger. I'm raising the Jolly Roger. I'm getting a Pirates flag. I'm rooting for them from now because it would just be awesome to see them back in the playoffs doing good things. It doesn't look like it now. They've kind of been on a skid. But anyways, that's our AL teams. Now we'll talk about our podcast team,
Baltimore Orioles.
Play that fucking song, "Sweet Escape."
Sweet Escape, please.
Woo-hoo! Oh, I love that. Yeah. Every time, it's sad that that song has made it to my gym playlist, and you know what?
Dude, it just fires you the hell up.
Just because of what it's connected to with Gunner. It's just, yeah. If it wasn't for Gunner, that song would not make it on my gym playlist, but now it's
number
there.
1 on my Spotify this month.
You know how Spotify does the most played songs?
I'm going to get that.
It's going to be my number 1. It's going to be my number 1 this year.
And that's the thing. We were talking, I was talking to you about the wiffle ball thing. We were talking about bringing a speaker and doing walk-up songs. And I was like, I'm playing Sweet Escape.
It has to be. It has to be. It's already mine for softball.
Yeah. Big Gunnar Henderson podcast. Yes. Big Orioles podcast.
Big time.
The Orioles have taken the season series against the Royals. Very impressive. This is a hot Royals team.
Very hot.
Especially when they took 2 out of 3 originally. Yeah, when the Orioles took 2 out of 3 early in the season against the Royals weren't quite on that hot streak yet. This is the hot streak Royals. And they lost the Cole Reagans game, which is fine. Yeah. Adley hit a game within 1 run grand slam. I think they were down 5-0 when Adley hit that grand slam, and then the Royals just pulled away late.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It happens. But then they took the next 2 out of 3. Clearly, a team, it doesn't phase them.
No,
Like they lose the first game, and they still have not been swept in the Adley Rutschman era.
Yep. Other than the playoffs, they got swept, but that's excluding
in the regular
playoffs.
season.
Yes.
Still haven't been swept in the Rutschman era.
That's the thing about the Orioles team in general is you watch their games and they can get down 3, 4, 5 runs, and no matter what, you think they're not out of this. Like they need to be down. Like they need to seriously be down 7 to 8 runs for me to be like
that's
they're out.
What
of
I was going to say.
It's got to be 7 because if they're within 4, within 5, I'm like. The Orioles are not out of this game.
It's like this is one crooked inning away from being an Orioles lead or a tie game.
Because when they put up a crooked inning, they put up a crooked fucking inning. Like they don't just score 2 runs. No, it's like they scored 4, 5, 6, and you're like, Jesus Christ! Like, and
how does that even happen?
Yeah.
Like you think about it, like, oh my God, where is this offense?
And it seems like I've watched them all season long, and I've seen them time and time again get down early in the game. And then come back and win the game in late innings. And I'm like, God.
Like even on opening day, like Corbin Burns gives up a shocker solo shot to Mike Trout.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
And then immediately after that, they take a 4-1 lead.
Yep.
And, like that team just had like
the team. Does
the
not
Orioles
quit.
are a team that has so much resilience.
Yes.
In that team, and like aside from the fact that we both love their broadcast crew,
true,
they are just so fun to watch. Like outside of the broadcast crew, you can watch those games on mute and still have fun.
Yes, I mean the broadcast crew is amazing, and it's a whole complete package. I mean, I think my favorite, like the best way to describe like what they've been like to watch this year, for overall perspective, was that Cedric Mullins walk-off home run, like where the broadcast crew goes, literally they say Cedric Mullins has never hit a walk-off home run. Until now, this ball is way gone, and then you see
it hit the flagpole.
Yep, hit the flag. He just crushed a walk-off home run, and then you see the entire team meet at home plate with the dong bong in hand, and he does at home plate does the dong bong. Like that's electric. Like it's so fun to watch. Like
we have described this. Like this is like a high school baseball team.
Yeah,
just having fun, playing a game they love.
Imagine do you remember the high school baseball games when you're in the dugout? You have your side jokes with each other. You're spitting seeds at each other. You're just having fun, and that's what it's like. I mean, I still remember to this day. Like one of my favorite high school baseball moments was I came up to bat. We're down by 2, and bases are juiced. I want to say, yeah. Bases are juiced. I come up. I hit a ball off the center field wall, and I hit a double, clear the bases, and I just hear from the dugout, or not from the dugout, from the bullpen, Miss Piggy, because that was my nickname because of my nose. Sorry, my teammates were fun. Yeah, and then after the game, I'm just sitting there, and we're having the team conversation. We're talking after the game. Great comeback win. I'm getting slapped on the ass by my entire team. My ass is still probably red to this day because of this. Like. That was that's what the Baltimore Orioles are like. They're fun.
Yeah. And that's what, like, that's something, like, I mean, as a high school and, like, career soccer player, I mean, like, shit, I got my Bayern flag in the background, too. Like, your team, like, being close and connected is what you want in a baseball team. And it's, like, you want that in all of your favorite teams. Like, sports team, doesn't matter. You want them to be close, connected, and have fun. And, like, there are a few teams in the major leagues that are like that right now. It's the Orioles, the Phillies. It's like
Rangers.
The Rangers.
Got to have the Rangers in there.
Yeah, the Rangers have a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, the Rangers have a lot of fun. And it's like there are a couple teams in there where you watch them and you they're having fun and playing.
And not only that, but it makes you more connected to the game in general. Like it makes it like you just want to watch that team because they're just even when they're losing, you're like, this is just fun. Like it's so like. Oh, I mean, the Orioles are all going out later and they're hanging out with each other and they're going to each other's houses and playing video games. They're doing all that stuff. Like, for example, my high school team, we had a team bonding experience and like that. And when your team is close like that, it makes your team better because they say hitting's contagious. This is contagious. And it's because you're so close with your guys that like, for some reason, it gets contagious. Like it makes the game fun. And guess what? When you make the game fun, it takes the pressure off of it. And you guys are just now a team having a bunch of fun, winning a lot of games instead of, oh, I need to have these stats. I need to have this. I need to do this. No, it just becomes a fun game, and you just play like it's it's a child's game that we're playing. Like,
and that's exactly what it's supposed to be like. And there are a very limited number of teams that it's like that with, and you can see it in a very limited group.
And do you notice how every single one of those teams that I said is good?
Yeah,
every one of those
because
teams.
It's like they're connected.
Yes,
they have fun together. They all do like stuff together, and it makes a team better as a whole.
Yeah.
That said, that's why we're such a big Orioles podcast.
Yep.
Such a fun team to watch.
Yep. Tune in every game they watch because it's just fun.
If you are not watching the Orioles, you should be watching the Orioles. Because like even if you're a fan of it, I know no AL East fan is going to want to watch the Orioles because they're like, ugh.
Yeah.
My nemesis. It's like, okay, fine. At least you have the rivalry reason. But other than that, like if you have no reason to root against the Orioles, you should watch them.
Yes.
Because they are a lot of fun to watch. And there's our Orioles propaganda. Yeah. Nailed us all.
Yep. All right, so now I'm going to go through this each series that happened this weekend and just kind of give the rundown of what happened. So for NL series, we have the Mets took on the Dodgers. They took 2 or 3 against the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are 1 game above 500, which is terrible.
A team that spent $1 billion in the offseason, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2 games above 500. 2 games above 500.
Oh, right. They did win today.
Yeah, they won today, which put them 2 games above 500. The Cubs split with the Marlins in a 4-game set, which, what are you doing, Cubs? You got to sweep the Marlins, or at least take 3 or 4. Jesus.
You got to, minimum, I think, against the Marlins is 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Like, the Marlins are pesky against NL East teams. They should not be pesky to you.
They shouldn't be pesky to anyone, honestly. They're terrible.
They fight harder against NL East teams.
They do,
it's very weird.
But it's like, why?
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. The Giants split a 4-game series with the Snakes. That's pretty much what was expected.
Yeah.
They're going to be both fighting for that second.
Jung-Hoo Lee finally hit a bomb.
Yeah, that was nice. Nice to see Jung-Hoo Lee hitting that bomb. Then for interleague series, we got the Reds sweep the Angels, which not shocking. Which you just said the Reds were spiraling or were skidding a little bit. They just swept the Angels, which I mean.
Oh no! They're like they were kind of like back and forth.
Yeah.
Getting the Angels at this time was perfect for them. Side note of the San Fran series, Patrick Bailey on his bobblehead day hit a home run into a canoe. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not see that,
but like
that's cool.
hit it like he hit it over the wall, like it would have been a splash hit. Went straight into a canoe.
That's hysterical. What would have been? Yeah. I'm not going to say that. Did the guy stay in? Did he stay upright in the canoe?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well,
no, it was a 2-person canoe. It stayed up. I was
good
like,
for them.
Okay. Yeah.
So then for I said Reds swept the Angels. Pirates get swept by the Red Sox, which, darn it,
good for Jared.
Good for Jared, bad for baseball. Well, not for baseball, but for me, because I like the Pirates. As much as I hate that they're in my division, I just want the Pirates to be good for some reason. I don't know why. It's just fun to watch them be good.
It's just like, I mean, they have a beautiful stadium, so it's really... They're hard to root against if you don't have to hate them.
Yeah.
So...
And the Braves took 2 or 3 against the Rangers. They just lost a game today against the Rangers. Padres lose 2 to 3 against the Blue Jays, which bad Padres. You're supposed to be a
little bit shocking, actually.
Yeah, that is a little shocking because the Blue Jays have been.
Well, they did get good pitching from Jose Barrios. Yeah, so
he's been electric this year.
He's been
lights out. Good. He's been lights out.
He's essentially been their ace.
Yes, and because Gosman has been bad.
Hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like, I think Gosman's been he's been up some starts, really bad other starts.
I'm curious. I'm going to look it up real quick.
Because there was one start, I think his fastball velocity was touching only 90, and I was like, ooh, that's not Gosman.
Concerning.
Because we did touch on that during the Tommy John episode we talked about.
Okay, so 8.16 ERA with a 4.97 FIP. I mean, it's better. I mean, obviously he's getting a little unlucky, but it's not good by any means.
No, it's not great.
Not a good
and
look.
Especially since that's supposed to be a race.
Yeah. And also Kikuchi hasn't been bad if I'm not mistaken.
No, Kikuchi hasn't been bad. Kikuchi's been having he had a bounce back year last year, and he's been pretty good this year.
Yeah, he's got a 2.08 ERA this year.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
21
good for
innings pitched, 29 strikeouts. He's got a league-leading 12 strikeouts per 9 right now.
Good for him.
Yeah. So that would explain why the Padres lost 2 to 3 against the Braves. The Rockies and the Mariners are 1-1 in the series, and this Score is currently
9-2.
9-2.
9-2 Mariners.
Yeah, so it looks like the Rockies are gonna be losing 2 out of 3 against the M's, which thank you M's, you need to do that. Get back on track. And then
well, I think it's good for their offense to actually finally start hitting.
Agreed. And I said before, hitting's contagious. Once it starts going, it's gonna get going.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna have a great offense at all, but they can't be as bad as they've been. They've been abysmal.
And Emerson Hancock turned in a really good start.
Nice.
So all of the Mariners pitching staff pitched well,
which is what we expected.
Yeah, but their offense again let down George Kirby. Didn't let down Luis Castillo, but they picked up Hancock, who's a rookie. So good for them.
Yep. And now last for the American League Series, we got the Yankees take 2 out of 3 against the Rays. Not shocking. The Yankees have been incredible. As much as we shit on them to start the season. Guardians sweep the A's, which, duh. Yeah, I'm not even going to say anything more than that. The A's are not a franchise. Minus Paul Blackburn and Mason Miller, there's no reason for them to be in the MLB. The Tigers take 2 out of, and then the Tigers took 2 out of 3 against the Twins, and again, not shocking because the Twins' offense is
Gary
completely
Carpenter, baby.
Yes, sir. The Twins' offense has been awful. The pitching's been meh. There's no 2 out of 3 against them's not shocking.
Yeah, no.
All right, now
I honestly wouldn't have been shocked with the sweep for the Tigers.
I wouldn't have either. But
Joe Ryan pitched his ass off today, so
yeah. All right, go ahead and talk about where we are in standings wise.
All right, let's pull up these standings and just run through them. So right now, we've got in the American League East, we got the Yankees on top at 15-7. That lead that they had built up to start the season when the Orioles started cold has shrunk to a half game. Yep. So the Orioles are sitting right behind them at 14-7, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Orioles take control of that division.
Run differential says that will, because the Orioles are
plus 29 versus plus 21. I believe the Orioles take a hold of that division, and you and I are planning on being there for that late September series.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I mean, we'll be done with the bar.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Yeah. But the Orioles are looking good. 122 runs scored, 93 runs against. I think that the Orioles. This is one thing we haven't mentioned with the Orioles. I think they should call up that one kid they have in AAA, Cade Povich.
Oh yeah.
Because John Means, we talked about him potentially being a guy. Doesn't look like it anymore.
No, unfortunately.
They're gonna get Kyle Bradish back. I think if they call up Cade Povich, they have a formidable 1 through 3 with a very serviceable 4. And I think Povich looks like he could be a serviceable 4. Povich is a lefty, so keep that in mind.
Love
that. So that would give them 3 formidable righties and 1 lefty who I think needs to be in the majors. Povich has been electric in AAA. I think you call him up.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm the Orioles, I'm calling him up soon.
He's got a .83 ERA right now. 4 games started, 21 innings pitched, 2 earned runs allowed. One of them was a homer. It might have been actually the only earned runs he's given up, but 33 strikeouts.
Yeah, if I'm the Orioles, I'm calling up Povich.
Batters are hitting 100 off of him.
If I'm the Orioles, I'm calling up Povich ASAP.
If you look at, he's got some weird ERA numbers years prior. He had a 5.04 last year, 4.50 the year before that. But his batting average against 222 the year before, or in 2022, 224 last year, and then now it's 100.
And this is again, the Orioles farm system is wicked,
and that's also in AAA. And AAA is notorious for being extremely hitter friendly.
Yeah, so. If I'm the Orioles, I'm calling up Povich ASAP. I think I'd call him up with Bradish and try and find a trade partner for one of your, other guys that is, like Tyler Wells and John. If you can move Tyler Wells and John Means, get that money off your pocketbook, screw it.
You know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen.
All right, tell me, what's going to happen?
they're going to trade John Means to the goddamn Cardinals for like, I wouldn't say Sonny Gray because it's not. Lance Lynn's
No,
gonna.
but it'll be like one of your
It'll be
other pitching
like either
prospects.
that or like Steven Matz will have like a good year, and they'll trade him there. And I'm gonna be stuck miserable because I'm like 2 years ago. Yes, I wanted John Means badly. Badly did I want John Means, but he's been bad. He's just been.
But you're an Orioles fan now, so
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Well, hang on. Wait. Why do I not? He's been in AAA. That's why.
Yeah, I do think Povich should come up soon. Kyle Bradish, I think, is starting his last rehab start this week, which is huge for the Orioles pitching staff.
Yes.
And then you've got the Red Sox right behind them at 13-10. You got the Blue Jays at 12-10, and the Rays at 12-11, which is not exactly the order we had that division in. However,
not even close.
It's we both had the Orioles winning it. So like the fact that the Orioles are a half game back and are on a 7-3 run in their last 10 versus the Yankees at 5-5, kind of where you would expect early season.
Yep.
So moving on from that, you got the American League Central. You have the Guardians rocking a 16-6 record. Currently the best record in baseball, actually.
And the best run differential in baseball by a lot, by almost 20.
Plus 52 in the AL Central. Good for you, Guardians. You proved us wrong so far.
Yeah.
Do you sustain it? I don't know.
Run differential says it will, but
run differential says it does, but I also am suspect, especially because of the Shane Bieber injury. So we'll see how that goes.
Which I don't think we gave them enough credit for just having a hell. I mean, literally, I was in almost tears when I saw that Shane Bieber was out.
I think we both were.
And they just shook it off. Like, nah, we're just gonna be the team. What little concerning for me is their offense is just brutal. 27th in baseball with a 695. I'm sorry. Hang on. I'm sorry. That was last year. Let me go back.
Okay.
I don't want to misinform the giant population listening. No, I was way wrong. Their offense has been good, like really good. 9th in baseball, 733 OPS, which their offense is not their strong suit, like ever. Like ever. Like they're bad. Overall ERA, 3.08 ERA for third best in baseball right now. So that's about what we expect.
Respect to the Guardians. I don't know if they're going to continue this, but if they do, okay.
Yeah.
Respect. Kansas City Royals are in second in that division, 13-9. I'm not sure. No, it definitely has to be up to date at this point. Royals are 13-9 plus 38 run differential. Those kids have just been smoking the ball in Kansas City, so good for them. However, they are in a 2-game losing streak thanks to our Baltimore Orioles. Oh God, I think you lost me again.
No, I'm here. I got you.
Okay, great. It gave me that trying to reconnect thing. But the Tigers are in third with a 12-10, but a +1 run differential. So that it's hurtful, but they're also, it's a team that's coming into their own. Do I think they take this division still? Yes, I would still hang my hat there and just be like, I think this is the team that's going to win it. Just because right now, I don't think there's anything to put me off them winning it. After that, Minnesota Twins at 7-13.
Yikes.
Just yikes. Then you have the everyone's favorite Chicago White Sox at 3-18.
3 wins by April 21st. Yikes.
Yeah, real big yikes there. So moving on to the 12.5 back already, by the way.
With a negative 71 run differential.
Yeah. Texas Rangers in the AL West are top with 12-11. Seattle Mariners are on track to be 500. They'll be 11-11, which should only put them a half a game back.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, -5. That's, again, mostly due to their offense. But they're 6-4 in their last 10. So trending in the right direction. The Angels are 9-13.
Trending back to where we thought they would be.
Yes. The Athletics are 8-14. Technically the surprise of the division so far.
Yeah, because I thought they'd be more like the White Sox with 3 wins.
Yeah, no, I did too. However, Zach Geloff clearly going to be a stud. So whoever gets Zach Geloff,
Paulie Punch-Out has been not bad.
No, he hasn't.
I shouldn't say not bad. He's been good.
No, he has been.
And Mason Miller is going to make a great acquisition to somebody later.
Phillies, you already called that one.
I did say that, but we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. And then in the cellar of that division, 5 games back are the Houston Astros, which is probably the biggest surprise in baseball.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest surprise in baseball right now.
3-7 in their last 10. They're scuffling hard. -28 on the run differential. Again, that's mostly on their pitching staff. But
it's 100% on their pitching staff.
It's 100% on their pitching staff. I was being nice.
Yeah, no, it's 100. You have one of the best offenses of baseball, and then your pitching staff is literally possibly the worst.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the National League, we have the National League East. We got the Atlanta Braves on top, 14-6, 7-3 in their last 10 with a +35 run differential. Shocker.
Yeah.
Phillies are in second in that division, just a game back. So, and 8-2 in their last 10. So, like, technically, the division race in the NL East is it's there. Is it early? Yes.
Yeah.
However, it exists at the moment.
Yes.
The Mets are 12-9 with
they've kind of been coming back a little bit.
The Mets have been much better than I expected.
Yeah.
Do I think the Mets are going to stay in this position the rest of the year? No. Especially with the Alvarez injury.
Yeah.
We didn't touch on that,
yeah,
but Alvarez is. They think Alvarez is. They might lose him for the year.
That's what I saw. Yeah.
And
in fact, I thought
Omar
I saw
Narvaez.
Sure.
I think they're getting a second opinion. I think I could be wrong, but I think they are. And
he's
especially
with the
catch.
2 hours ago, they put that he's going to undergo surgery on his thumb, which likely means he's going to be out for the season.
Okay, so that definitely should tamper Mets' expectations.
That's weird. But they said it.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't be shocked if they get a second opinion there, just to like see if it's necessary. Because if they get him surgery, it'll probably end his season.
Yeah.
And he's their best catcher. He's one of their best offensive production pieces. So, I don't think the Mets stay here. But I don't know what to say about the Mets. Aside from the fact that they've overperformed so far.
One of the pitchers, they asked him a question, right?
Yeah.
And all he said was, "I feel sad for him." I'm like, why even put that in this?
Okay, dude. Yeah, great interview.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. But yeah, I mean, again, the National League East is at the top 2 is shaping up how we expected it. I don't think either of us had the Marlins being quite as bad as they have been.
In fact, I think I had them in third, I want to say.
I think I had them in third as well, but I don't think we expected the repercussions of firing Kim Inge to be this bad.
No, not at all.
Is it deserved? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
But 6-17 is brutal.
This is a prime example of the baseball gods doing what they need to do.
Yeah, no, exactly. The Nats are 10-11, which is, it's probably close to where they're going to be.
Yeah.
Like they're probably going to be around 500, maybe flirting with the 500
under
mark.
500. Yeah.
No, I agree. But like I could see them flirting with 500, but never quite getting above it. Because it's a talented young ball club, but it's
young,
especially with Mackenzie Gore like seeming to break out of his own shell and like being himself. Because I personally, part of the Juan Soto trade that I hated was the Nats getting Mackenzie Gore.
Same here.
So because I knew it wasn't great for me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was also like,
they
also lost Juan Soto, so whatever. The Nats are probably going to be flirting with, but below 500 at the end of the season. Moving on to the Central, you've got the Brewers, who are just hot as hell right now, 14-6. Cubs right below them, 2 games below with 13-9. with a plus 18 run differential, and then have the Reds, who are just clawing away at 12-9, only 2.5 games back with a plus 21. The Pirates are at 11-11, 4 games back, but 2-8 in their last 10. And then the Cardinals at 9-13 with a minus 19 run differential, 3-7 in the last 10. And that offense really needs to pick it up. We've already discussed that at length.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
There you go. Then you have the worst division in the National League, the NL West. The Dodgers at 13-11, 2 above 500, 3-7 in their last 10, with a plus 15 run differential. For a team that spent $1 billion in the offseason, that is not where they're supposed to be at
Not
all.
ideal.
The Padres are in second at 12-12, 6-4 in their last 10, and a plus 8 run differential.
Ooh.
The Diamondbacks are at 11-12, 5-5 in their last 10 with a plus 28 run differential. They have the best run differential in that entire league. And then the Giants are at 10-13, minus 21 run differential, 5-5 in the last 10. And then the Rockies, shocker, 5-16 with a minus 47 run differential and 2-8 in their last 10.
So,
and
yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna see why the Dodgers are sucking. Well, I shouldn't say suck. They lead the division.
Well, I mean, for Dodger standards, this is sucking.
100%. Their offense is still good. 754 OPS. I mean, that's with Mookie Betts still just being Mookie Betts. But their ERA, team ERA is, I just had it a second ago, 21st in baseball with a 4.30 ERA.
It's not even the thing is like that is a little bit surprising, but I think Yamamoto is just like he's been so bad. Like for a guy you paid ace money to, you're just like, Jesus.
And it's not even just their starting pitching is 18th in baseball with a 4.21 ERA. So that means the relievers have to be getting shelled. I don't watch a lot of Dodgers.
Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah,
I don't watch like any Dodgers games.
20th in baseball with a 4.40 ERA. So yeah, their pitching has just been bad. They're suffering from a case of a mild Astros syndrome right now.
They are.
Except for they're not injured. They're just bad. Well, I shouldn't say that. I should not. That's not fair at all for me to say. Because they have an entire pitching staff that is literally injured with Bobby Miller. I'm sorry. Yeah, Bobby Miller's actually injured right now. Bobby Miller, Walker Buehler. I can't think of the redhead right now. Oh my God. Dustin May. Clayton Kershaw. Tony Gonsolin. Yeah. Which also, when we were doing that arbitration competition, I didn't realize how dominant Tony Gonsolin has been. It's kind of crazy how good he's been. Like, it's like I wrote off Tony Gonsolin as just being an okay pitcher. I was way wrong. Last year he was bad. 4.98 or 4.98 ERA, bad. Year before that, 2.14. Year before that, 3.23, 2.31, 2.93. He's got a career ERA of about 3.19. And that's with last year being bad. Yeah.
That's
so
nuts.
I kind of have to tip my cap when tipping the cap is due, and that's one I gotta say. Tony G, I was really down on you, like really, really down on you, and I should not have been.
Well, I mean, like just for context, this Dodgers team that is lauded as World Series favorites probably still would be 4th in the NL East and 4th in the NL Central.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay.
For a team that spent $1 billion this offseason.
It's like, I don't really care that Ohtani's been tearing the cover off the ball and beat Matsui's Japanese home run record.
I guess technically that's another pitcher you could say that's on the shelf too.
Yeah, he is on the shelf. But, I mean, like 3-7 in your last 10? Dude, you're a World Series favorite. What the hell are you doing?
Jeez, Ohtani leads the league in hits right now, doubles, and then has a 1.049 OPS.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
I saw this one thing since the MLB tweeted that thing that said, who else but LA being the first team to 10 wins? So I was like, okay, 10 wins. Congrats.
Yeah, and they've won 3 cents.
Yeah, they've won 3 cents, and like everyone else in baseball has been better since. And you're just like, wow.
Yeah, I was also OPS plus for Ohtani 188. He led Major League Baseball last year in OPS plus with an 185.
Holy hell!
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah,
I didn't realize he led all of Major League Baseball in OPS plus.
But yeah,
as a part-time pitcher.
Part-time.
Well, I said part-time because he didn't make it through the entire season. But
yeah, that's true.
Holy fuck, man! How much WAR did he put up last year? Because it should have been 20.
I think it was. I think it was like.
It was
10.
like 10, 1. I think.
I think it was 10.
It should have been fucking 20. So I have here on Baseball Ref. This is just his hitter WAR. That's why he's got 6 hitter WAR.
That's not surprising.
That's fucking. Let's go on Baseball Reference because they'll tell me the whole WAR. I think.
Oh, by the way, different news point. Bryce Elder is going to be recalled to start Monday against the Marlins for the Braves.
That's interesting, but
well, we got the Braves fans in our group chat screaming no about it. They don't like Bryce Elder.
Why?
So.
I don't. Whatever. So yeah, they have him. See, this is why I hate WAR sometimes. Well, at least I hate how they do it on here.
It's going to be deep enough to score another run. The Mariners are going to score 10 runs this game.
Finally, shit. Oh my god. Give me his fucking full WAR.
The Mariners. Look at the Mariners, man.
Whatever.
Finally scoring some runs.
I'm over it. Whatever his WAR was, it should have been fucking 30.
Yeah, he was going crazy last year. But yeah, so the Dodgers, who spent $1 billion last year in off season, 13-11. That's just not the start you expect from a team that spent $1 billion in the off season.
Yeah, literally.
And I mean, we're not going to dig into your Yamamoto thing right now.
No, not worth it.
No, because we could probably spend an hour talking about his struggles and everything. But
I mean, we talked about it a little bit. It's like it seems like he'll have like 3 or 4 really good outings, and then he has one where he just shits the bed.
Yeah, no, agreed. But other than that, unless you have any other news and notes,
nothing.
I'm good.
Yep.
So this has been the weekend series wrap up. Was there supposed to be a Sunday night baseball game today?
Yeah, it was the Texas Rangers versus Braves.
Oh, damn. Oh, right, because they finished before this second
which is
game
just weird.
against. Yeah, that's very strange. Because I'm currently watching them.
Yeah, I am
too. But yeah, I'd also rather watch this than that. Just because this is my AL team, so I may as well watch them. But
I was like, what? Astros or Braves versus Rangers? I'm here for that.
I'm not going to just watch the Braves for no reason.
All right. Well, anyways, let's like and subscribe on Instagram at the Baseball Diaries, on Twitter at the BB Diaries, YouTube the Baseball Diaries Pod, and
hey, Jose Canseco, come on the show if you want. Also, Gunner. Big fans.
Gunner, that is our ultimate goal in this podcast is to have you on this podcast one day because I'm sorry. Look, I'm going to apologize now. We can't do the podcast in person with you, Gunner, because Brendan will be trying to put your nuts in his
mouth. No, hold on. That's foul.
You know I had to say something foul.
I know you did, but still. Yeah, so other than that, I think that's it for the show tonight.
We shall be back on Wednesday or Thursday. We'll see how the schedules work out.
Yep, we will.
Likely.
And you will see it on Spotify, YouTube, and you will see clips on Instagram and Twitter this week. So stay tuned. We're going to continue to update you throughout the season and come back anytime.
Yep.
All right. Peace out.
Later.